Yo, what's up? It's Moline with another guide on rotation, this time advanced rotation actually. We're going to go over a single target to begin with because that's just how we're going to do it. Let's start with haste. Let's start actually with no corruption, actually. That'll help you out a lot. So, we're going to assume you have the Sketcher Bow because the Sketcher Bow is probably one of the biggest staples of Hunter to begin with. Yeah, it's just like insane how big the Sketcher Bow is. But let's just start with no corruption and go from there. Okay, one expedient. Where is that? There you go. Okay, no corruption. 43 crit, 24 haste, 38% mastery. So my barb shot's gonna come up a little bit sooner than usual, but it should be fine. Now, when you are getting ready for like a pull, you know how people like reset bosses and shit because they lost on trash. Don't attack the boss with your shots if you can. Try to attack the boss with your pets. The pets do count as a tag. It's worked before in Mythic Plus even. I used to tag shit. I tag shit in Mythic Plus with pets, and it still gives count. So, pet tagging bosses for Lust Reset definitely works, and you should do that because it doesn't proc anything. Pet attacks do not proc anything, and you really do not want to be procking shit. Like, even disengage during combat procs dragon proc. So, I mean, yeah, it's a real. It'd be a real shame if you just procced everything like Vita, Overwhelming Power, Racing Pulse, something like that on the pull tag. Like you don't want to be doing that. So I don't screw with that. If you have a Razor Coral, make sure to use it 1 second into combat after the first attack happens. If you pull with a Razor Coral, it has a very high chance of bugging out. Fights to not use Coral on. Actually, I'm gonna go into this because you should probably know it. Are Skitra and Il'gynoth. I'm pretty sure that's it. You can use Coral on any other fight if you really want it. But yeah, Skitra and Il'gynoth are like kind of red flags to use Coral unless you're using it on cooldown because sometimes it just bugs out on Skitra. Same with Il'gynoth. So let me just demonstrate the single target rotation right now. I don't have Killer Cobra on, actually, so this is scuffed already. But we're just gonna go into a log. Fix that real quick. This is what you would be doing if asking into the beast, actually. You'd be weaving in a little bit more Cobra shots than you would with Killer Cobra. So this would be something you'd be doing in like Mythic Plus. Just make sure you hit barb shot off cap. You know, if it caps a little bit more than usual, then you can hit like every second global, but just make sure to maximize Beastal Wrath, focus regen, so you just, you know, pump out more spells. And then where it starts to slow down here, make sure to still game Barb Shot. So you see here, Barb Shot's cutting closer off cooldown, I'm hitting it sooner. 4 is usually the magic number when there's a charge already, but I usually just hit it whenever. And then use your Coral on an aspect of the wild. That should be basically it. During mechanics, if there's a mechanic coming during cooldowns, then you should probably turtle quickly, say there's a cast coming up, like right now. Say it's like Volkal's poison dot thing. The initial damage is worth turtling, and sometimes I do that. It doesn't totally negate it because it's a dot, and turtle got nerfed at Veramothras during Legion, so yeah, it just doesn't ignore dots anymore. So Volkal's one of those dots that has like a dot when he casts his poison thing. So when he casts it, you just want to turtle one tick, like this, just instantly like that. And the macro to do that is use turtle and then cancel or turtle. So I'll show you right here. So I have a turtle post and a turtle pre. My quick bind Z is turtle pre. It's just stop casting, cast aspects of the turtle so that nothing, prevents me from casting turtle. You should probably use that for your kick as well. But I won't show it right there. Yeah, stop casting, cast aspects of the turtle after it's show tooltip. Then turtle post is the same thing, except you double cancel aura instead of stop casting. So that means nothing's gonna stop you from cancel auraing it. Why double cancel aura? I don't know, some dumb shit might happen. I don't even know. But yeah. Oh, this has Insidious Gift in here. Oh my god, this was from a while back in Crucible of Storms. They had this trinket that gave you a debuff. And yeah, it totally went through turtle. And you wanted it to stop. That's why there's a double cancel aura in there. That's not a thing anymore. You only need one cancel aura turtle. If you do for some reason have turtle up and you wanted to press it and you hit shift Z accidentally, this is a failsafe. Cast aspect of the turtle at the end. Yeah, if you hit shift Z, it's a failsafe. That's why cast turtle is there again. You only need cast aspect of the cancel aura for this macro, but yeah, dude, you should probably failsafe it so that if I turtle and I mean to press turtle and I hit it, I hit one of the Z buttons, I don't fuck up and say, oh shit, I hit shift Z instead of Z, which probably happens a lot more than you think. So, you know. And why is it not in one bind? Because you really don't want to be, spamming it. You really don't want to be spamming it. Yeah, it's that. Yeah, you don't want to be accidentally turtling something, and then you spam it, and then suddenly, the immunity just goes away and you fucked up. Like, good example is Nazoth. If you spam the key, you're gonna turtle instantly, and you might even turtle. You might even turtle and cancel or it before the Thaw Harvester's cast, and then you fucked up, right? So yeah, don't do that. I usually press it once and then. Yeah. Anyway, back to rotation. So we're gonna do this without lust. You wouldn't be lusting on pull for something like what do you know, Il'gynoth? I guess Il'gynoth. So for Il'gynoth, I use Gale Colors for Il'gynoth, by the way. And that fight is all about just getting out your cooldowns off cooldown. Because there comes this awkward point where Il'gynoth has that low health and Aspects of the Wild comes off cooldown. You want to be using that on cooldown. Because you just lose a shit ton of damage from not pressing Aspect again. From the time you kill from the time Aspect comes off cooldown, Il'gynoth comes off low health, you have to reposition for the organ. And I mean, you could be anywhere in positioning, Like, you'd have to move and shit. You'd have to exil during CDs. Like, you don't really want to be doing that. Like, BM is kind of hurt by, like, you know, disengaging during aspects of the wild, wouldn't you think? So, yeah. Even though disengage may be off GCD, I don't know. Probably is. Exil definitely isn't. Spirit Mend definitely takes away during your cooldowns, just slightly. I might not know what I'm talking about actually at all, but you know, you don't want to be focusing on defensive shit during your cooldowns, which you want to be spamming. You know, especially with these high haste numbers nowadays. You really want most of your APM being sunken into what's going to be my next two spells in real time. So, and that's how you should think, by the way. When you're doing your rotation, you should think about your next two spells. A lot of people play in the moment reaction, and that might be fine nowadays with all these procs, but you should really be keeping your mind on that. Even with like barb shot procs, like procking Haywire, you should really be thinking, okay, next ability, I really only want a Cobra Shot once. I want to see if Kill Command comes off cooldown immediately if I'm playing Aspect. Or I really want a Cobra Shot once during Beastal Wrath so I can Kill Command immediately. And you want to be spamming Cobra Shot, then Kill Command. So, anyway, let's retry the opener again. FKR Caller. So, the thing about this is that you want Beastal Wrath up right after or just before it ends in the opener, especially during Lust. Right now, I think I got close to that thanks to Gale Colors, but yeah, it was really just like kind of lucky without any haste procs or anything. But yeah, it's what you want to achieve. You want more Beastal Rafts, you want a hell of a lot more kill commands, and casting Barb Shot more often than not is going to help you do that. Usually, something that people do wrong is they cast too many spells before Barb Shot again. So like, right here, this is the most I'll do. That's 5 spells without Barb Shot. That is the limit, I think. Usually my rule is like 3 to 4 spells before Barb Shot. But yeah, if you're low on procs, no corruption for example, no haste percent, no racing pulse, you might encounter this situation, but this is why I have a weak aura to detect if Barb Shot's coming off cooldown so I can just press it, you know. And the cooldown is 7.2 for this gear, so as long as you're around like half of it, like 4 is a good number for it, like a little over half, you should be pressing it. Because this weak aura will tell you, when it's at 4. Like, see, my bow's ticking on it. I can just cast it again. You know, save a lot of time, save a lot of charge. Because you want to be saving charge as a Barb Shot for your, you know, burst and shit. It's like, see aspects of the wilds coming back up. You want to be spamming that shit. You want to have as many charges of Barb Shot, but you don't want to be really, wasting charges during your rotation. You just want to be gaming it the whole time. That's usually how I play PM. Just gaining Barb Shot the whole time. And maximizing focus gain. That's why haste percent is so good. Like, you are so over budget on focus during haste percent. But yeah. we're going to look at a Mott poll from this Tuesday, I believe, and show you guys what exactly is going on. Okay, so here's my opener. Beast of Wrath, Barb, Coral in 1 second of combat. I used at 0.5. Then Aspects of the Wild, Barb Shot again. Make sure you have 3 charges of Barb Shot before you start your shit. And then 1, 2, 3, Barb. 1, 2, Barb. 1, 2, Barb. 1, 2, Barb. This is a really good proc thing going on. Beast of Wrath, 1, 2, Barb. 1, 2, Barb. 1, 2, 3, Barb. 1, 2, Barb. Like you can tell like the proc rate going on. I extend a little bit when I don't get a Barb Shot proc, but I use it anyway because I have so much haste percent. Then I get another Beast of Wrath. 1, 2, Barb. 1, 2, Barb. 1, 2, Barb. This is 1, 2, 3, 4 Barb because I'm really focusing on the circle that I'm getting out. And this here is like a skip. I don't know what that is all about. Oh, that's probably Annihilation. And by the way, you can hop on the border for Annihilation. But I'll explain that more in like my dungeon and raid guide. Yeah, third Beastal Wrath. You want to be getting that shit out as soon as possible. Yeah, you see how steady these barbs are. They're pretty steady. The most unsteady is when I pop Beastal Wrath. Like that's okay. But yeah, honestly, the biggest part about it is like keeping a flow with barb shot. You want to see it like as often as possible. Like I almost never do this anymore. And this is when this was during the shield burn. You know, when I knew I could like dump focus and I didn't have to worry about keeping the flow. I just worried about like pumping the boss. And you can see I get a hell of a lot of heat from here. Like I pop my shield, I pop my exil. I'm taking a lot of fucking damage while this is happening. Continue reapplying coral. And then here I just keep the flow during the burn of Mott, which is when he's, you know, doing the reflecting shield back at you. Yeah, just remember second pot. I second potted a little late. And we all fuck up sometimes. But yeah, just keep the flow honestly. That's all you need to worry about. Then I turtled the freaking Annihilation for a little bit quicker. Like see, once you get good at turtling, you can just turtle instantly, and you will lose less time than you would just hopping into the void shield. But yeah, most important shit is just keeping the flow, and at the end of the fight, you can just you can do the long barb shots. That's what I call them. You can just focus way more on getting shit out, but you can see how I am kind of depleting at the end here. Like, I could have gotten another global here if I pressed another barb shot here, but that means I would have sacrificed a global here, so it didn't really matter, did it? Now, we're going to talk about some AoE. AoE is more of a thing in Mythic Plus than Raid nowadays because, you know, mages are so, they're so powerful. So, yeah, we're gonna focus on that real quick. Let's go to this blessed key. Where's this field? The hell is skill? Okay, there we go. Freehold, field. Okay, freehold. Perfecto. Alright. Here's how you do AoE. Make sure do not forget the pre-pot. And just do that to tag shit for trance. And make sure you know the conditions of using blood of the enemy here. Right? I set up my barbs. That's the first thing I want to do. I don't press Beastal Wrath immediately. I want like full uptime on it. And I set up all my shit. And then here. What happens here is I have Beastal Wrath up, Aspects of the Wild, Dance of Death, the pre-pot still going, and 3 stacks of Frenzy. So the second I hit Blood of the enemy, I'm doing maximum damage. The reason why this is so important is because for the first 5 seconds of Blood of the enemy, you get 5%, you get 25% more crit damage for 5 seconds. You can only spend, like, what, 4 spells during this period of time? So, especially during Lust, you should be maximizing what abilities do damage. Well, what abilities do the most damage during this window? It's not spamming multi-shot. It's spamming single target and weaving in multi-shot just to keep BC Cleave up. So the next thing I should be doing here is kill commanding. Oof, but I don't. That's bad. But at least I got my one kill command. Probably focus more on other shit. But that is actually not perfect. The next should be kill command. Then you weave a multi-shot, you weave a whatever barb, then you kill command again. Now, if you can't squeeze another kill command, you should Cobra Shot to squeeze another kill command. Why is this so important? Because kill command does a shit ton of damage when it crits. And it does a shit ton even more when it crits with blood of the enemy up. So you should really start doing that on a main target. Or something. But, as you can see here, by the way, something I do wrong is I multi-shot a little bit too much. Because what happens here is I multi-shot so much that aspect of the wild is up, while aspect is at half. You see here? And I do game it by like, what, 5 seconds? But I could have multi-shot it a little less, and especially during that blood window, I should have been doing more single target. This is why you do not multi-shot spam on, like, what is this? 8 targets? So, like, you should really just, like, calm down, focus on weaving in single target a little bit more. It really makes a difference. It really does make the difference. You can beat someone with better gear by doing this. And just multi-shot spamming is like, it's kind of not the play unless the trash is dying so fast that, like, you don't have a chance. But, here's how I take down myself for playing badly. But it's not playing badly, it's just like, yeah, could have killed something a little bit faster by doing this instead of what I was doing here, just spamming multi-shot. Yeah, but in the end, staying alive is a lot more important than min-maxing that part of the AoE rotation. So if you have a problem with staying alive, which I have died to this shit before, stay alive. Now I'm in the Mythic Plus single target situation. So we're about to see at the boss fight here coming up. Beast of Wrath, double barb, aspect, barb. Then we started shit. Blood of the enemy, kill command, all the jazz. And you know how I said use Beast of Wrath before it ends? That's what I just did right there. And then when it starts to slow down, you start to gain barb shot, etc. And there I got a perfect trap on the pat right there. You can play with barb shot like that. If you feel like you're getting procs, you really shouldn't be though. Unless you have high haste. When you have high haste, you can, press it on cooldown however you want. But yeah. Anyway, let me demonstrate single target right now and how you use blood of the enemy in real time. Because I didn't use it correctly in AoE. No corruption, by the way. So again, if you want to burst with blood of the enemy, Beast of Wrath probably not going to be up. I'm going to test it right now. Probably won't make too much of a difference, but we're just going to see. Alright. Multi. Now, something different you think I should be doing here is multi-shotting a little bit more because it's only 4 targets. And 4 is like a little bit awkward. Like single target is worth it, definitely, on 4 targets, but you can get aspect up again. But 4 targets usually die before you get the second aspect up, even if you're spamming. So I usually just say fuck it, I'm gonna single target weaving. And that's usually how you just play Mythic Plus. Honestly, just aspect every pack. It's fine. You don't really need to do the otherwise. And I just realized my shoulder had the wrong fucking talents on. Doesn't matter. It doesn't change anything. Actually, it did just change that. Let me do that again for you guys. It did just change that. So that was a little demonstration of like, yeah, if you had triple PI, triple dance, and you're in Mythic Plus, that's what you do. But let me show what's actually gonna happen. See, even with rapid reload, you really don't want a double aspect on 4 targets. It takes a long time to get that point, especially without corruption, especially without haste corruption. Like, it takes a long time to get to that point. So, like, honestly, if it's like 4 targets are living a long time, I wouldn't be spamming multi-shot. On 3 targets, even less. But say these are living for a minute 30, go ahead and do it. You don't lose that much from like not aspecting sooner, right? Because chances are that if it's a minute 30, you see what aspect's doing right now? It's gonna come back up for the next pack. Now you might wanna spam it a little bit more to prepare, because you're holding yellow colors for the next pack. You wanna do max damage instantly to it. Say it dies right now. You have 26 seconds. That's not ideal, but you can just spam it a little bit more, right? While your shit's coming off cooldown. So let's say this is the next pack. As soon as my second pet is stopped. As soon as my second pet stops doing dumb stuff. So let's say this is the next pack. You're getting ready. Kill Beastal Wrath's not immediately off cooldown, but see how fast it came back up again? Now, if Dance of Death is up, it's not up. You want to be spamming Barb Shot as much as possible. Dance of Death is, even though it's like losing a shit ton of value from AoE versus like stuff like Mastery for Master of the Wild, you still want to spam it. You still want to spam Barb Shot if you don't have a buff up. That's why I track it right up here. That's why it's the closest to my character, because I'm always looking at my character. And Dance of Death is one of those things that's, you know, pretty essential to doing high damage on BM. Now you might get some shit situation where you press Barb Shot 6 times and Dance of Death is not coming up. That's just gonna happen every now and then. You can't really avoid that. That's why I don't wear triple Dance of Death, because it may look good on a sim, it may look good in Dungeon Slice, but honestly I just really don't trust it. By the way, second minute 30. Okay, we're gonna look at this breakdown real quick just to show you. So even though Kill Command is doing like 4% damage, that is still about 13k DPS. And 13k DPS for every AoE pull is not a joke, especially when your DPS is like, that's like 10% of your DPS. So if you're doing 10% more DPS every pull, you're fighting like another hunter or just a DH that's really good, or rogue that's really good, because some rogues are really good. You will pull ahead, especially if it's bolster week. Is this week bolster? I forgot. I don't think it is. It's teaming. Is it? That's bolster week. Especially during bolster week, you really want to be weeding in single target. So that's just that, dude. Now, some tricks to rotation. Macros. Every attack, every offensive cooldown. There you go. You should probably cooldown. You should probably freaking macro it. And the way I do stuff like Barb Shot is that I think of it as a charge ability. So if I want to move my pets from here to there to here again rapidly, I want to use Barb Shot mouse over, and the pets will move over. I use Kill Command too if I want to move these pets. And you know, it's just an easy way to like move them. They're moving fast because of dash. But when dash stops happening, it's like right now, you really want to be charging them in. And Barb Shot just helps with that. Now, I moused over Kill Command, Barb Shot, and Cobra Shot for Explosive Week, but it's still good to like instantly be able to swap to something. Like a new Harpooner in the pack for Field. Or a new Hex Priest in the Atoll Desart pull for when you pull everything down the stairs. But yeah. I have it included in Beastal Wrath. an aspect of the wild, you know, and it always goes show tooltip, pet attack, use the ability whether it's a mouse over or a cooldown, and then bite claw smack. Bite claw smack is every pet ability. That is possible. Only the main pet is using its ability, but it's very useful for especially explosive weak to be bite claw smacking off cooldown because normally the pet AI is just very slow at using its own abilities. It wants to pool focus for some reason, but it will pool at max focus, and that's where you lose a lot of DPS from the pet. So yeah, you want to be doing that. I even had it bound to crows, I believe. Yeah. Stuff you don't want to be pet attacking is like your kick macro, your stun macro, your binding shot macro, because you might be CCing shit, and if your pet charges in and just whacks it, then the CC is broken. So yeah, probably don't want to be doing that. Let's see. Another thing about my rotation, right? You don't want to be selecting purging stuff while you're doing your rotation. What I use is a purge macro that is certain to pets, and I'll put this in the comment. I'll put this in the description section, but it basically show tooltip, mouse over harm. If the pet is a spirit beast, it'll do spirit shock, and I double. I use a semicolon with in between so I can use the mouse over macro efficiently. Then the second macro is another mouse over harm in case the pet is another ray. I wonder if this works actually. When I double cast macro it. Definitely works. It just shows the wrong thing though. Yeah, that's probably why I did that actually. So yeah, this is how it should look. Um, it's a mouse over dispel. Very useful for like, taking your mind off dispel. Just it's something on the side. You can do it as you're focusing on rotation. And that should be it, honestly. Um, as far as dismissing and I'll just go over that in the next guide, dungeons and stuff. But that should be it for rotation, honestly. It's about really weaving in those barb shots, really weaving in everything. You don't want to be spamming, Cobra shot outside of Beastful Wrath if you're running Killer Cobra. Stuff like that. You want to be dumping focus during your cooldowns. If you have high focus, just focus on dumping it. But don't dump in a Cobra shot twice. You really want to be like saving for Beastful Wrath because Beastful Wrath should have a pretty high uptime. Gonna look up here. Yeah, Beastful Wrath 78% uptime. It's pretty freaking high. It was up there with Barb Shot 1 stack. So yeah, you definitely want to be dumping focus during Beastful Wrath. Um, if you have if you're using Gale Colors and Blood of the enemy in single target and it desyncs, right? Gale Colors will desync with Aspect, it will desync with Blood. You just use that shit with Beastful Wrath. If like Aspect of the Wild is 20 seconds off cooldown, if Blood is 20 seconds off cooldown, use it with Beastful Wrath. If you want to hold Gale Colors for Blood of the Enemy, go ahead and do it. Especially during trash backs, that's what you should be doing. But in single target bosses is when you can use outside of stuff. So that's honestly it. Like the last thing I can show you is just like a quick sim of what to do in a single target situation with this setup right now. No corruption. Patrick, 2 minutes. We're not going to bloodlust it. We're going to be assuming that you bloodlust trash. Even though it's tyrannical weak, right? No, it's not tyrannical. Yeah, it's not tyrannical weak. It's fortified. So yeah, you'll be lusting trash more often than not. The sim wants you to do something a little bit differently. For single target, this is fine. Either is fine. Whether you get 3 stacks before you blood, or you blood before you get 3 stacks in kill command, like, it's a minor difference, but you should really practice the other for AoE, so that's why I do it out of habit. Right here. This is a 2-minute fight, so it might just hold everything. No, it's not actually. It's using Beastal Wrath and Blood on cooldown, even for a 2-minute fight, which is pretty insane actually if you think about it. It just doesn't give a shit. It uses Gale Collars. Wow, this is weird. Because he uses Gale Collars when you have the highest amount of crit here, which makes sense. Oh, that's why. Because the boss dies at 150. That's what's going on. Okay, how about a 3-minute boss fight? How about you know, yeah, screw it. 4-minute boss fight. Say it's like Yasma or something. That's why. The boss died at 147. That's why I use all this shit. Okay, so here's what you do during desyncing. Man, I got baited by a fake sneeze. Okay, when everything lines up here, everything will line up here. It does save for it. It does indeed save for it. So everything lines up here within 15 seconds. That's fine, right? Nothing's being used late. Like, say if it was 150 seconds. But the second time, everything's going to be desynced, I believe. And this is where you use Aspect, Blood, Gale Colors. Actually, no. Never mind. I'm wrong on that, too. Even on a 4-minute fight. See, here's the last pit, but it's at the end of the fight. So you kind of have to use it. What was that? That was second use, third use, fourth use it desyncs it, finally. And this is when Beastal Wrath is up for the end, and you pop Gale Colors at the end to get Beastal Wrath back up, which is pretty weird. It dumps focus outside of Beastal Wrath, but it does have enough focus to just spam it at the end here. And again, I don't recommend doing this, honestly. If Gale Colors is desynced and you're only going to get one more use before the end of the fight, then just, use it with Beastal Wrath. But in this gear, probably just want to, pool stuff together like it's doing here. Honestly, it's fine just doing this. I've always said before, just use your stuff on cooldown. If Beastal Wrath comes up with Gale Colors, use it. Beastal Wrath comes up with Blood, use it. And then Aspect, try and save stuff for it within 15 to 20 seconds, but really, yeah, just keep it at that. Especially for Mythic Plus, where you want stuff up for the next trash pull, like in Waycrest, You kill the tree boss, and you usually pull the Magoot's room, the pig boss room, and you want your cooldowns up for that point. You should probably do that. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. That is the rotation guide. Pretty long. I'll be working on the corruption guide when I finish the next guide, which is going to be the dungeon and raid guide. And that'll be fun to work on because that's probably going to take the most prep. This was like nearly none. But, I'll see you guys later. Have a good day. Hope this helps out.